Hello, hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you never run out of content ideas again. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this unique creative content development process. I'm going to teach you how to create more engaging content, more remarkable content that you can post that's going to help you reach more qualified customers online. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this will help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit this button below and subscribe to the channel. As for the links below, in the description box, you're going to see a couple of links. Actually, you're going to see several links. The first link that you will see is from my book called I Just Did a Thing. In my book, I actually go into more detail about the science, about why tapping into your creativity is one of the best tools that you can use with your content creation. It's going to help you with your content creation. It's also going to help you work through some areas of your life if you're making big changes in your business or what's going on in your personal world. The other link that you're going to see is the subscription to the Create Your Business program. So you can personally go through this process that I am always talking about in the videos, this process where I can show you how to develop your own version of remarkable content, and you will actually get to experience the creative activities and understand what I mean by tapping into your creativity. So this next series of videos, I'm going to do a deep dive into how to develop a more effective content organization system or process, or whichever word you really want to use. But it's basically, and it's the idea about how you can organize your content creation to help you stay consistent. I actually developed something that's another link that you're going to see down there too, because I was telling you there's several links, and that's going to be another one of those links you'll see. I developed this thing called the 5-step creative content development process. And what this does is it takes you through the steps of how to create your marketing content. I'm going to break this down. I'm not going to do all 5 steps in today's video, and I'm going to do this over several videos. That's why I'm calling this a series of videos. So over the next several videos, you're going to hear me talk about this creative content development process. You're going to hear me talk about its purpose and how it all comes together. But today we're just going to start with the understanding of why tapping into your creativity is so important with your content creation. And then I'm going to end it by letting you know about the first step. And the first step of this process is finding your content focus. So you can always follow along by looking at by downloading the 5-step creative content development process below and get your free copy. All right, so let's get started. Let's start talking about this. And let me share with you a story. Let me explain to you how all of this really got started. And it has everything to do with my experience, my 20 plus experience years of working in content marketing and working with clients and working with all different clients in different industries. So it basically started from this place of, yes, I help my clients with their content marketing, but there's also the flip side of it is my content marketing. Myself as the business owner, as my own marketing strategist, as my own developer, I actually have to manage all of my content too. And so I have always gone on this quest to figure out how I can do this and be more effective with my time and making sure that what I am sharing is very spot on and it's very clear to what my marketing message is. And so throughout this process, I cannot begin to tell you how many programs I have paid for and how many thousands of dollars I have spent for group programs. And I mean, I'm that person that was just looking for some help, looking for something. What can I do to help me reach more people, to help me make more sales? And let me tell you, even though I've spent way too much money than I'm willing to admit as to the actual number itself, all of this stuff, it didn't just sit in my inbox. I am totally that person who shows up to the weekly calls. I am totally that person who goes into the Facebook group if the program has one. I participate in conversations. I ask for feedback. I jump in on the calls. I answer prompts in my workbooks. I follow the steps that people have asked me to do. And I've implemented my content just like they told me to. And sometimes I would see results. It would start out really, really great, but then it just kind of filtered out, and I just didn't see results like I was looking for. And so I'd be sitting there, like hitting my head against the wall going, why isn't this stuff working for me? Why doesn't it work for me like all these other people that I'm seeing in the Facebook group, and they're all talking about all the growth in their business, and then I sold this and I did this and I did this, and I'm thinking, I did the same exact thing you did. Why is this not working for me? And so if you're sitting here listening to me and you're nodding your head to my story, you may be asking yourself, why isn't all of this working for me either? What is it that I can do differently? Is there something different out there that will work for me? And I'm here to tell you, my friends, yes, there is. This 5-step creative content development process, like I said before, don't forget that you can download your free copy in the link in the description box below. So make sure that you follow along with that. But that is the thing that when I finally started working through this creative content development process, when I started to understand about the importance of tapping into my creativity, that right brain side of my body, this is when it all started to make sense for me. This is when I started to get consistent. This is when I started to get clarity. This is when I started to put everything together. And so let me share this with you, and as I'm moving through my whole story, let me blind you with some science. Because when it comes to understanding the science behind creativity, and why I truly believe it's going to help you with your content development, I believe it so much that I wrote a book about it, that it has everything to do with this quote by Henry David Thoreau. And Mr. Thoreau says, as a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kind of thoughts we wish to dominate in our lives. And this is so incredibly true when we think about how our brain is intimately connected to this content creation, intimately connected to how we grow our businesses, intimately connected to pretty much almost everything that we're doing in our lives. But I'm just going to kind of narrow it down. I don't want to talk about your whole personal life. I want to talk about marketing. I want to talk about your business. So let's talk about this. Let me blind you with a little science here. I want to talk about something called neuroplasticity. There's something in our body, and it allows our brains to actually carve out mental paths, to create this positive pathway that Henry David Thoreau was talking about. And the pathways that are used more frequently and the ones that are reinforced are the ones that become habits. And what I mean by that is, let's say you can't just do one Instagram post and say, okay, check, my Instagram marketing is done for the day, or done for the week, or done for the month. It doesn't work like that. You must consistently show up and do the work. You must consistently go through your marketing content. You must consistently create that deep path within your brain to change the way that you think about what you write in your post, and change the way that you are working on your marketing plans for your business. And if you think about the way that you're developing your social media content every week, most likely your process looks something like this. You go onto whatever social platform that you want to use, you scroll around for ideas, you do a little brainstorming, you create some images, you write some content, you post it. Boom, boom, boom. And you're like, okay, done, check for the day. I mean, and if this is something that you're doing every single week, These steps that I just stated, scrolling, brainstorming, creating, and posting, these become a habit. And you make this mental pathway in your brain. And this is how you and your brain and your body and your mind and your soul think about how you're developing your social media post. You do these habits for several months, and you train your brain to do these quicker and quicker every time. And it does make it easier for you to be consistent with your social media habits, your social media marketing, right? So if we think about it from that perspective, the same thing would happen that if we're doing a much more deeper version of creating that mental pathway, a much more deeper way of really developing those neural pathways that's going to lead you to develop better content. So when you download the free 5 steps creative content development process, you are going to see some worksheets. So over these series of videos that I'm going to be doing, especially when I want to get into each one of these steps, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the worksheets. We're going to talk about the questions that you're going to ask. We're going to talk about how you can use your answers to dig in deeper to really understand a better way for you to develop your content. And this is the way that when you start looking at things differently, you start building a different pathway. You start using a neural way of moving through this process. And it's going to feel a little uncomfortable because you're doing something differently. Totally get that. Because that is normal. Our body always reacts to something new that they're not expecting. They always want to go back to the same thing. Because remember, whatever your process is, you have developed a habit over time. Whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. Either way, these habits are developed. And so when you are trying to change the way that your brain is going to function with your content marketing, you're going to feel it. So I want you to pay attention to your thoughts, as your brain is going to probably kind of push you back to your normal routine, or maybe even worse. A lot of times your brain will come up with excuses about why you can't do this step, or why I can't try out this app. Or my favorite excuse is, that's not me. I can't do that. But I want you to tell yourself that you can do this. You can start to make these small changes in your content development process. You can move off of your routine habits and learn how to think differently about creating your marketing messages. Because here's the thing, and I always say this whenever I'm talking to clients, and whenever I'm teaching a workshop, this comes up almost all the time. I want you to remember, you are the one that set up this habit. You are the one that trained yourself to do this. So if you are the one that set this up and you are the one that trained yourself, you can untrain yourself. You can set up a new set of habits. You can set up a new way of thinking. Because reaching more customers online is more than just doing a bunch of videos or posts on LinkedIn or posts on Instagram. It's about developing consistent content in a way that brings you're open to new ideas and to this creative energy coming into your life. You're open to the new way of changing things. You're open to a new process. So let's get into this. Let's talk about this. Step 1 of the creative content development process. One of the first things that you're going to do is, and you'll notice, the first thing that I talk about is we're not going straight to figure out, are we on Facebook? Are we on Instagram? Are we on TikTok? Are we on LinkedIn? Are we on, fill in the blank YouTube? That's not what we do first. The first step of this is finding your focus. And you're going to build this foundation to your content strategy. I need you to find your focus. And how we do that is going back to that old expression about how you can't be everything to everyone. And that statement is so spot on when it comes to looking at the focus of your content marketing plans. Your focus the focus of this is that you want to make sure that your content marketing is resonating with your online community, that you're sharing relevant posts, that you're providing them with meaningful help, that it's intentional, that you can see their challenges, you see their pain points, and you're saying to I have a solution, I have an answer, please look at me, consider me as an option for somebody you want to buy from, somebody you want to work for, whatever, fill in the blank of whatever the type of business that it is. Because when you're creating content for customers, it's not just about sharing stuff online that is like, well, find me on Facebook. It's about sharing the right stories in your marketing post. It's about sharing the right emotional content that's going to resonate with somebody, so that they are going to feel they're going to want to know more. They're going to want to you're going to want to basically, let me start that sentence over again. And it's like I've got three things trying to come out of my mouth and it's not all coming out at once. You are looking for your focus, because when you don't want to find yourself sharing posts that's off brand, something that's not relevant, or worse, something that's going to help your customers. So saying find me on Facebook is not in any way helping your customers. Maybe you could say, well, I'm telling them to find me. Okay, but how are you talking about their a solution to their challenge? How are you connecting with them other than just saying, I'm on this social platform? That's not what better content is all about. So when we talk about going through step one and finding your focus, how do you do that? Basically, your job in step one is to find what I refer to as the sweet spot. The sweet spot in marketing is the content that combines your expertise with how this helps solve your customers' pain points. Your sweet spot is the space where you can clearly describe your services, your products, whatever it is that you're working towards, and how it benefits what your customers really care about. The sweet spot is the content that you share with your online community that resonates with them. It teaches them something and inspires them to take action, and hopefully gets them to the point where it closes the deal and gets them to buy from you. And it's really important to understand the sweet spot contains two factors that will encourage engagement. The first thing you want to keep in mind when you're thinking about your marketing sweet spot is your business will know this information backwards, forwards, sideways, front ways, upside down, inside out, so you can easily share this content from a place of expertise. The second thing you're going to keep in mind with your sweet spot is this is information that your customers both want and need to hear, and they're going to be better off from learning it. So you can see right there, your sweet spot does not equal find me on Facebook. So that's the first thing that we want to keep in mind. But there's a lot of other things that we want to think about, the key things that we want to focus on to get to your marketing sweet spot. And when you download the free workbook and go to your worksheets for step one, you're going to see some questions there to help you find your focus, find what you and your business would call your marketing sweet spot. So the first question is going to be, what am I passionate about? And this could be regards to your personal life, but mostly with regards to you're passionate about your business. Why did you start this business? How does it help people? From that perspective. So when we talk about what am I passionate about, we think from that place. What topic do I have expertise with? Now that could be multiple topics. And if they are multiple topics, write them all down, because what's going to happen is when we see all of our answers in one place, we're going to be able to put it all together. The next question you're going to answer is, what's the message that I want to get out with my social media marketing posts? And again, this could be several different answers. So you want to write them all down, write as much information as you can with regards to the message that you're looking for. The next question you're going to answer is, who am I writing to with my posts? And this could be, don't just say your customers or my clients. Try to get a little bit more specific. Is it women? Is it men and women? Is it college age? Is it grandparents? Is it moms? Is it dads? Are there certain ages? Are they not certain ages? Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? Try to get as detailed as possible, because a lot of this is going to come back when we get into the other steps, especially when we talk about the pain points and their challenges. So you want to make sure that you're pretty clear about who you are talking to. Remember when I started this whole conversation about you can't be everything to everyone? You want to be everything to one person. Who is that one person? Who, if we had to describe, some people call it an avatar, some people call it your ideal client. If you had to describe that person, who would it be? So use this space to fill in who you would be talking to, even if it's companies. If you are working business to business and you are selling to other companies, think about the companies. Are they small companies? Are they corporate? Are they mid-sized companies? Do they companies that work in this particular industry? Think about it from that perspective too. So it's not just about a person and an avatar and ideal client, especially if you do work with other businesses. Think about it from that place as well. And so the next question that we're going to ask, or you're going to ask yourself, is how do I want my customers to feel when they're reading my marketing messages? Do you want them to feel that some confidence in you? Do you want them to feel that a relief? Oh my goodness, somebody finally understands me and they know what my problem is. Do I want my customers to feel excited that they finally found a solution? So think about it. Go through all those kinds of emotions, how you would want your customers to feel when they're reading your marketing message. Reading, and I meant reading as well as, watching a video on TikTok or watching it on YouTube. Same thing. So reading, watching, you know what I'm trying to say. And the last question that you're going to ask, and this is super, super important, especially when it comes to your sweet spot, what could I write about for a year without running out of ideas and energy? That's a really, really tough question, because when we went through all of these, especially question 2, when I asked you about the topics you have experience with, you have a lot of experience with something, but could you write about it for a year without running out of ideas and energy? That's a really important piece right there. And we're definitely going to be coming back to that one particular question throughout our series of creative content development process, but that's a really good place for us to stop at this point, because what we've done is we've worked through step 1. And when you work through step 1, however you fill this out, if you fill it out on the worksheet, that's great. If you wanted to pull up a Google Doc and then type out your answers, whatever, there's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's only your way. But what I want you to do is make sure you have a space where you're not just answering these in your head. I want you to actually write this out or type this out, whichever way that you work. And I want you to look at your answers. And I want you to study them. I want you to look for patterns. I want you to look for the same keywords and phrases. If you had a Venn diagram, this thing, with the big circles, if you Venn diagrammed your answers, especially your topics, especially what I could write about for a year without running out of ideas and energy, where is that middle? Where is that middle part of that Venn diagram? That's the place where you are going to land with your sweet spot. That is the space where you're going to find yourself finding your focus, finding the foundation of your content marketing. So go ahead and download your copy of the 5-step creative content development process, and stay tuned for the next couple of videos. I'm going to go through step 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when we work this all together, you're finally going to get to a place where you can develop your own personalized, customized, consistent content strategy. And this is going to help you reach more qualified customers online. So thank you so much for joining me today with this creative process. If you've enjoyed this content about creativity, I really hope that you'll consider subscribing to this channel and never miss another episode, because I have so much that I want to share with you. But if you're really ready to dig into the deep work of developing your own content marketing strategy, and you want to learn more about how to tap into your creativity and experience the creative exercises and experience the process that I take you through with the Create Your Business program, the link is below for you to subscribe. Once you sign up, you will stop saying I'm stuck and I don't know what to do with my marketing messages. And when your workbook shows up every month, and when the creative tools show up to your front door every single month, you're going to start believing that you do know what you do. You do know what you need to be talking about. You do know what you need to be sharing with your marketing messages. And you are going to start seeing results. So don't forget to download your free copy of the 5-step creative content development process. You will see the link below in the description box. And as always, you are magnificent, my friend. And let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.